What an amazing end to an amazing volume, boy. I was just absolutely floored when you see Blackbeard and he reveals his power to be... Zahahaha! One Piece Chapter 440. Fire Fist versus Blackbeard. Well, that was unexpected. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and magical and Blackbeard versus Fire Fist ace-filled tale of One Piece. Now, our last chapter saw us with really the Straw Hats kind of escaping, narrowly escaping, I might add, Water 7, and, of course, the new ship being named the Thousand Sunny. As the chapter kind of ended off, we wound up getting a check-in from a couple of different areas and a couple of different familiar faces, such as Vivi from Alabasta and of course, Smoker, who we haven't seen in some time either, and Tashigi. Anyway, the chapter ended off with them, of course, just kind of all partying, welcoming their new crew members, being the ship and Frankie, of course, and then welcoming their returning members, Usopp and Robin, and just kind of partying it up and doing what they do. That's where the chapter left off. And then this chapter picks up, and the chapter is entitled Blackbeard versus Fire Fist. And I'm thinking, holy shit, this is going to be crazy. And then it goes, and man, those misleading titles that Oda gives you, because then the first several pages, the majority of the chapter, is really just kind of continues what happened in the last chapter with some check-ins from some of the various places and people that the Straw Hats have visited, encountered, helped, whatever the case may be. And it's actually very cool to see. It's neat to see everybody back in Luffy's hometown for the most part, except for the mayor, kind of cheering him on for his newfound, bounty that he has. We even get a check-in from Zoro and where he grew up in his dojo and everything else, and it's great to see his master. Everybody's going, oh, he teaches how to be Zoro like a pirate like Zoro. He's like, I don't teach people how to be pirates, okay? And he knows that he basically trusts Zoro and knows that in his heart that he's doing the right thing or what it is that would make him happy, So, very cool to see these different check-ins. We see the Baratier, and I thought that was kind of cool. They're all excited, even though it's that hand-drawn picture of Sanji, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is great. Basically, we got somebody famous now, the 77 million berry bounty from Sanji. We get a check-in back on at Kokayashi Village, back over, obviously, from the events of Arlong Park, and we wind up seeing Nojiko, and Gen and all that other stuff. And we wind up seeing them kind of talking about Nojiko's excited and has this picture blown up of Nami, now that she's like this world-famous pirate, but she looks happy, and of course she looks sexy, too. She's in a bikini, what do you expect? But very, very cool stuff. And again, the check-ins, keep coming from, we wind up seeing Dr. Kureha and, of course, Dalton, after the events that happen on Drum Island in the Drum Kingdom. Just a number of different great little check-ins. So that takes up, I don't know, like 2/3 of the chapter, and I'm thinking, where's with this title, Blackbeard versus Fire Fist? Because if you remember several chapters ago, at the end of the chapter, I think it was 434, 234, what the hell am I thinking? Jesus Christ. Anyway, at the end of chapter 434, I believe it was, is when we saw that Ace had actually caught up to, and found Blackbeard. We didn't know what was going to ensue, right? Obviously, Ace has been sent out to kill him. We know Blackbeard, or we think Blackbeard is this formidable opponent. Anyway, so then we wind up getting a quick check-in from somewhere else on the Grand Line. I believe that they said the name of the island, but the bottom line is it's the Revolutionary Army. It's Dragon, Monkey D. Dragon, who we found out a few chapters ago as well, is none other than Luffy's father, right? And I don't know what the deal is with, like, absentee fathers and people just going and, like, giving up their dreams and, like, or following their dreams and leaving their kids, but it seems to be a theme that runs through a lot of manga, period. One Piece, Naruto, it doesn't matter. It just seems like ain't nobody got no damn parents, So, Luffy's no different. He does have a parent, but apparently he is the, he's the leader of the Revolutionary Army. So they're talking about, and he has a couple of good things that he says in here, I thought, that were kind of neat before we get into the good stuff. And he just says, listen, he goes, live your life as you wish. Live as you wish, Luffy. Let's see. There are times in history when it takes a will such as yours, together with chance and coincidence, to make people question the world. The day will come when we shall meet. And then it introduces him formally as Dragon, Monkey D. Dragon, world's worst criminal, the Great Revolutionary. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. So then we go back to Blackbeard's ship, right? Or wherever Blackbeard was that he wound up happening to, whatever island he was at or wherever when Ace caught up with him. And Ace is just kind of sitting there chilling. And of course we got Blackbeard, and I love that with that, So, I'm sorry, it's Banneroo Island. Banneroo Island is where they're actually at. And then he's like, oh yeah, well, what do you know? It's Commander Ace. And he's like, you know what? Just stop it. Don't call me that anymore. Those words should only be used by people who say them with respect. You're just making fun of me, Oh, you must be Fire Fist Ace. Yeah, that's me. Nice to meet you. I love this. He's like, you're a pirate captain now, aren't you? Head of the Blackbeard Pirates, Captain Marshall D. Teach, And I love how he lays it on over here, and he's, Ace, it's been so long. What's up? How did you know I was here? And he's just like, listen, let's cut to the chase, Teach. You've been around for a real long time. There's no way you don't understand this situation, And then he goes, well, yeah, let me ask you what thing then, Ace. Do you want to join me? Let's take over the world together. I've already made my plan to rise to the top. Whitebeard's era is over. I will become king of the pirates. And for starters, I'm gonna go kill Straw Hat Luffy at Water 7. I'll present him to the government as a gift, and obviously so he can, that's his way of getting in good and being deemed as one of the Shichibukai, one of the 7 warlords, right? Because now we know since the events in Alabasta, Crocodile's been removed from that position, so we've only got 6 real warlords, and one, of course, kicked out, disgraced one. So, anyway, and then you get, Ace is like, what, Luffy, what did you say? And he's like, what, you know him? And he's like, that's another reason not to let you run loose. He's my brother, and of course I'm not going to join. So anyway, as he says that, all of a sudden, man, few shots come through and nail him or whatever, right? And you got these dinglings, the sniper, I think Ogre his name was, goes and tries to take him out. And then somebody else goes, one of the other guys, I forget which one, which his name is, goes and tries to throw a hotel at him, and we get to see Ace and some of his powers, fire pillar, and just fucking, and obviously the bullets didn't hurt him or anything, And then it's great because you get Blackbeard, and he's just like, Ogre, Burgess, who told you to attack him? You guys aren't up to his level yet. Stay out of this, And I thought that was pretty cool because he's just like, dude, you guys know that you're not strong enough. Just fucking back off, right? Ogre and Burgess, that's what it was. So they go and they try to attack Ace, obviously, and blindside him, even though he's still kind of just talking at that point to Blackbeard. But we know what the end game is, right? So then you go and you see Ace just kind of go, and I mean just, shit, explosions everywhere. And I guess I didn't realize how powerful some of these Logia fruits are, right? When you think about it, there's a lot that somebody like a Smoker can do, but when you think about like Fire Fist Ace or like Aokiji, it's now starting to set in, and I'm starting to realize and think outside the box and think about just the amount of things that you can do with that type of power. It's just absolutely astounding and amazing. Anyway, he winds up going and knocking, Blackbeard back, knocking him on his ass or whatever. And Ace is just like, you know what? Enough of this shit, man. Anyway, and he says, you know why I'm here? He killed the 4th Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, Thatch, right? So then we kind of get the full story, and Blackbeard says, listen, I was on Whitebeard's crew for decades, right? And the only reason that I had to kill him, that guy, even though he was my friend and everything else, was because he found the devil fruit that I wanted, that I had wanted my whole life. I memorized the book and the shapes and the look of all of them and everything, and he had the one that I wanted, so I had to go and kill him for it, right? Maybe he asked him for it, and maybe Thatch didn't give it up. I don't know. But Blackbeard killed him. He's like, with his own hands. And then we go and we finally get to see, and this is how you end a volume. This is how you end a chapter. This is, oh my god, this is beautiful, right? Cannot wait to see this in the anime. And I know a lot of people, when I got the Blackbeard figure that I got up there, they were like, oh, and it's a spoiler with this and that. I didn't know what some of the accessories were. There was a fucking piece of cherry pie, and then there was like this like globe that goes around his hand. I don't know, what, he can make globes of balls of light? I didn't know what it was, right? No, he breaks out, you may be fire, but I'm made of darkness. And I thought about that, and I thought, oh man, how cool is that to just see this dude? Look at it, just like this, just this darkness emanating from him, right? And now, I mean, I don't even know the full extent of his powers and the darkness and how it works and everything else. I can tell you, though, being an old-school comic book guy, there was a comic by Top Cow Comic Books created by Mark Silvestri called The Darkness. There's actually a couple of fairly successful video games that you can pick up on the Xbox 360 or PS3, I believe even the PC, for The Darkness. And basically, this person, Jackie Estacado, the main character, winds up getting this power of the darkness, right? And the darkness is pretty much... The darkness in there pretty much looks like how this is drawn, you know? So I'm assuming that there's all kinds of cool shit that can come from that power. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how things are going to shake out. I know that I'm scared for whoever is around within a couple miles of Fire Fist and Blackbeard as they're fucking going at it, right? Because this goes and has to kind of flash us back to 3 days before on this island where it was, you know, because that kind of took us back to where we were. So absolutely wonderful. Such a fantastic dynamite volume. I would say, I dare say, my favorite thus far. It's got to be my favorite thus far because so many things happen in these last 10 chapters. It's absolutely astounding. I mean, so many just a revolutionary watershed bombshell type of moments, man. Just great. Great stuff right there. My chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is what are your thoughts on Blackbeard possessing the power of darkness with his Logia fruit? Obviously, we can get into a whole bunch of different discussions about the devil fruits and everything else, and that's fine too. I welcome any type of conversation and discussion we can get going in the comments down below. But the main thing is, and my question is, what are your thoughts on obviously this devil fruit and Blackbeard possessing it? You know, what do you think are some of the ramifications of it? What do you think are some of the powers he can draw from it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's fitting? You know, all those type of things. Whatever it is that you feel, please leave in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, Nation. As always, thank you for watching,